everyone. Today we are going to connect to our ninth episode of Bless Girls Show. So, as we are here and hitting on the pandemic on its utmost, I would say the crucial time, and it's like really mad out there, and I'm sure you all are challenging at this moment. So, today we bring one of our guests who is specialized in psychiatry. Dr. Dharav Shah is based out of Mumbai, and he is one of the doctors I have come across who is MD and have been creating a lot of awareness towards alcohol, tobacco, and a lot of other addiction which drives to it. As we are stuck at home and been almost 1 year, let us welcome Dr. Dharav Shah and listen from him how we can handle this situation. Welcome, sir. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me and giving me this opportunity to talk to people. As a doctor, I'm a doctor, but I really don't physically treat people anymore. I talk and I'm healing the mind. So I feel very guilty that I'm not doing anything in the pandemic. What I can do is help people deal with the stress in a better way. So you've given me the opportunity to do something, so I'm very thankful to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's my privilege to be really connecting with someone who is so much into creating awareness. And I think that's the most important time of all the years I have come across at this planet right now, I would say, because it's so tough to be at home, almost like over 365 days plus at home, just not going out too much, being constrained to one city. It is tough, and people who are actually don't have a bigger place to live, especially in apartments and all. So yeah, I would love to begin with from you that how did you got interested to learn about psychology and psychiatry, and to take this to another level of getting into masters. How was that?
Okay. So I have stammering, as you would know while I speak, and I also have a psychological disorder called OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. So because of that OCD, I would read the same paragraph three times, and I have to write the same thing. If I am writing a fill in the blank, I would write the answer and I would rewrite it on the top of it to confirm. So it was a horrible time of my life, wherein it was very stressful to read. And the stammering also made me fear that will I be able to do any work at all? Will I be able to be a salesman? So I was really afraid I won't be able to do anything in life. So I have experienced the pain of a psychological disorder, wherein physically no one sees any problem in you, but you still feel very crippled. So therefore, because of my personal experience, I had a wish to work on quality of life, on improving the quality of life rather than just saving lives, which is also important. But I prefer to work on improving quality of life. So then, of course, the choice was psychiatry for me. And after MBBS, you do MD psychiatry, so it's not masters or anything. That's what you do.
But still, that's why it is MD. You're being very humble about that. Okay.
Okay. And while I was doing my diploma and then MD, I came across a lot of families which were getting ruined by alcohol, and I saw that though according to Global Burden of Disease Study, it is regarded to be the most common cause of morbidity and mortality in the young age group. It is a cool thing to drink, and it's becoming more and more normalized. So something which is ruining lakhs is becoming more and more common. So this disturbed me a lot, and I believe it's my responsibility to at least once do my part of placing before the young people what I have seen, the true consequences of alcohol, so that the propaganda done by the industry and the media gets neutralized, and at least they get a true picture, and then they are free to make their own choice. So
Exactly.
after I used to always hear that Western people, after they do their education, they would take 1 or 2 years off and enjoy and this that. So I felt I have slogged a lot of years to get my MD. After MBBS, I've said 3 years in the library.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've slogged enough. I deserve 1 year for myself.
Yeah.
For 1 year, I went to schools and colleges and gave talks on why we shouldn't touch the first drink or the first smoke. And students loved it so much that I ended up 2 years doing that.
Wow.
So that's something different. Otherwise, my work is similar to other psychiatrists. So half my
Yeah.
time goes in spreading awareness on various things, and half my time goes in private practice.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, tell me about was it like for you? Someone emphasized you to try drinking. Was it like because doctors also have that forum, right? They have
Yeah,
their own social gatherings. They have their own certain platforms where this is very normalized now. And how did you handle
yeah.
that kind of a situation? How was that for you?
It was pretty easy for me because I was so clear I don't want to drink. In fact, one of my friends who helped me to give,
Hmm.
in the sense, helped me get permissions for talks, etc.
Yeah.
The conference and CME was going on and free alcohol is being served. So he
Yeah.
was super tempted to drink and it's free hai, sab le rahe hain. So he asked me, Dharav, please can I take it? So for me, no one forces me because they know my life is to tell people not to do it. But yes, it's
Hmm.
common. And one reason why I work on it is because alcohol lawyers, sorry, doctors, lawyers, engineers who are supposed to be the cream of the society, they also
Yeah.
don't find anything wrong in this. So therefore, I believe
Exactly.
the fault is not of youngsters. The fault is of the society which failed to educate them and give them a right perspective. And
Hmm.
because doctors is what people look up to, therefore I'm focusing on medical colleges. I've been to 53 medical colleges till now.
Wow.
So
That's like so many colleges. Wonderful.
and why
So,
did I? And I would like to say one thing. Okay, people
hmm.
ask me, "Have you ever tried?
Yeah.
How can you not try something and say it's bad?"
Yeah.
So we don't need to try going in a quicksand. We don't
Yeah.
need to try robbing a bank once and then say, "No, it wasn't a good idea."
Absolutely.
Certain things, it's smarter to learn from the
Exactly.
experience of others, especially when consequences are very bad. So why I don't do most probably is when I
Hmm.
was around fourth standard, my father was drinking in parties at that time. So I asked him, "Okay, Papa, if you take,
Yeah.
why is it bad for me?" It was an innocent question,
Yeah.
not to pressurize him or anything. But he thought over it, poor fellow. And after a day or two, came back and told me, "Okay, it's bad for you. It's bad for me. I'm
Wow.
stopping from today." I think because my father took a stand at a young age when I was young, I think that gave a clear message to my mind. Okay, this must be a harmful thing, and therefore I've not
Wonderful.
experimented with it. And otherwise, I would be counseling
Yeah.
people why it's okay to drink if I would
Yeah.
have.
So some of the challenges you felt that are major challenge of making someone convinced that alcohol is not good, or for especially for youth, because I feel the youth is trapped so much into the whole idea of putting out yourself there in a certain way as you should be, perceived or validated, is so hyped that it doesn't matter that what else other things matter in your character than just being out there with smoking, drinking, or maybe putting yourself in a way, in a fashion which is doesn't have any, I think there's no substance to it, you know. So how do you
Yeah,
say
yes,
how did you function, and what was your most few challenges you would say is there still out there that you feel is really not, it keeps you thinking that what can be done more?
yes. So talking about challenge, the peer pressure
Yeah.
is so high, as you say, and the level of misconceptions are so high that I usually talk for an hour. And people are like, 1 hour you will talk on
Yeah.
alcohol? What will you talk? And I'm like, unless I answer all the misconceptions, you're not gonna get convinced to be able to resist the
Yeah.
strong peer pressure which is there. So the routine experience I have is when I talk on this topic, offhand to someone, all sorts of arguments and this and that they will give. But when someone listens to my talk, the whole 1 hour talk, then almost no one in
Hmm.
the audience is arguing with me. And everyone says, yes, sir, what should we do? How should we solve it?
Yeah.
How do we change the scenario? So my biggest thing is getting 1 hour
Yeah.
time because everyone, but you're saying peer pressure is a big thing, and therefore I focus a huge chunk of the time in how to handle peer
Yeah.
pressure. So one of the things we say is that your friends are proud to drink, and if you're ashamed
Yeah.
to not drink, then today or tomorrow you will end up
Exactly.
drinking. And people who drink have a pressure to force you. No one will force you saying, I've seen this film, you
Hmm.
have to see. Are you not my friend? You have
Yeah.
to see this film. No one will. But alcohol, they will force you. Are you my friend? Why? Because they had subconsciously, they have a guilt. They know I'm doing something wrong. And if I am drinking and my friends are not drinking, then I'm doing something wrong. Then I cannot enjoy it.
Wow.
But if I am doing it, you are doing it, you are doing it, all of us are cool
Yeah.
young people. So there's a lot of pressure to
Yeah.
force others. And in some context, having that
Yeah.
conceptual clarity that I am
Hmm.
making the right choice.
The basic things we can start doing when you are in a situation where you feel that you are going to panic, or you know that you are panicking or you're freaked out, because right now, even in 50 meters to your neighbor who is hardly a 50-meter away, or maybe hardly 10 to 15 minutes doorsteps away from you, and it is and they are COVID positive, or someone in your family is COVID positive, and there are so many deaths happening all around, and people can't go to the funeral as well. So there are so many things.
So yes, people are at home. So the few important things which come to my mind are, luckily technology is there now. No one is asking you not to do a video call. Okay. So I would say ki people are telling ki, oh, how many days we will not meet people, is that, I'll say every week have a conference call with your whole family. Who is saying no?
Yeah.
Daily talk to your friends for an hour. Who is saying no? But it's I now, counselors like me, our whole practice is online, and
Yeah.
even we are being able to effectively do therapy on it. So I think
Hmm.
human connection can definitely continue. The medium is just changed. One.
Yeah.
Second, the fear about COVID. As I said, panic will happen if you think COVID is something like a fatal thing which can happen to anyone and then I'll die.
Yeah.
If you keep in mind that this is something which is manageable, we have to just take our precautions and we have to respond to it,
Yeah.
then the panic won't be high. Third, some people will say, but little risk is there, na? 0.04%, but that is there, na? My answer would be yes. But that much risk, or maybe slightly lesser than that, was always there. Even
Yeah.
before pandemic, there was no guarantee you are gonna live on and on and on. And definitely you're gonna die someday. I, you, everyone. The day we were born, you are gonna die. So for something which is as natural as death,
Yeah.
to fear it so much is so silly. So my
Yeah.
spiritual guru tells that it is a wise thing to remember your death every day in the morning, so that you know you have a finite time on this earth and you use it well.
Yep.
So if we just accept the naturalness of death, then we wouldn't panic so much, right? So that would be important. And then there is a concept called circle of control. So there are
Hmm.
certain things outside our circle of control,
Yeah.
like government. Why didn't government set up oxygen factories in time? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? These are outside. It's good to hear in the news, it's good to debate, but it's of no use. There are certain things within your sphere of control: to
Yeah.
exercise regularly, to meditate, to talk to your friends, to wear your mask, to take the vaccine. These are in
Yeah.
your sphere of control. Focus on them.
Yeah.
That way you are able to be more empowered to do something.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right? Then one more thing I would say is, rather than just worrying about a big situation or a problem, when
Yeah.
you start doing something about it, it can be even a small thing, that
Yeah.
shifts you from being part of the problem to being part of the solution. And that takes away the anxiety in a big way. So I
Absolutely.
encourage everyone, we collectively have to fight this pandemic. It's not government has to do it for us. Government is made of people. It is we collectively who have to solve them.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, what can you do? So, one, any organization which is working on responding to the pandemic in any way. So, you can
Hmm.
volunteer for them, you can donate to them. So, you can do it to any NGO organization working in your area. One organization which I can tell you, if you don't know if anyone else is, an organization called Doctors for You.
Yeah.
Doctors for You is operating 15 COVID care centers across 6 states.
Yeah.
They're doing a huge work. So you can go to their website doctorsforyou.org and you can volunteer or donate to them. So there is one. Second thing which all of us can do is poor people are the worst affected in this pandemic because of the
Absolutely.
lockdown, their livelihoods have gone. Mine has not gone. And so a lot of people have gone jobs and all of us are struggling. But the poor people are struggling the most, right? To the
Yeah.
extent they don't even have 2 square meals a day. And when
Yeah.
that happens, the body immunity goes down, and therefore the risk of getting a severe COVID infection is high.
Yeah.
So, collectively, it's the responsibility of our society to ensure that during this pandemic, no one should go on an empty stomach. So,
Yep.
people who are trying to feed them,
Hmm.
that doesn't need a doctor. Any one can get together and start feeding. And those who are doing this, we can just join them, volunteer or financially support them so that they can feed more people. So this much all of us can do. That would bring down our anxiety. And
Yeah.
by and large, for stress management, two, three things we say.
Sure.
Share with someone is the most healing thing. And
Yeah.
it's like a pressure cooker. So when the whistle blows off, the steam goes off and you calm down. Similarly, when you talk to someone, when you share your concerns, it brings a sense of perspective and it calms you down.
Yeah.
Second, take out time to recreate. Just because problem is going on doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy. By you
Yeah.
not enjoying, the world is not getting any better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take out time 1 to 2 hours to relax, to enjoy, to have fun. You need to balance off the stress.
Yeah.
Third, I would say regularly take time to meditate or to do yoga or to do some form of relaxation exercise. That so on one side you're getting a lot of negative messages. This is going wrong, this is dying, this friend has died, that uncle has died. A lot of job ka kya hoga, a lot of stress. And on the
Yeah.
other hand, if you take out 15, 20, half an hour, 1 hour for doing yoga or to do mindfulness. So there is an app
Hmm.
called as Headspace. I love that for
Yeah.
mindfulness
I've heard
meditation.
that. Yeah.
So, or you can do shavasana or just yoga. If you take out regular time for that, you will be balancing it, right? And one last thing I wanted to say, I jotted down is
Sure.
news. So while you are at home, please, 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 please don't look at the news. Not because we shouldn't be aware of facts,
Yeah.
because the kind of news which come on the TV, their goal is not to make you aware of accurate reality. Their goal is to frighten you and get you hooked onto on the screen.
Yeah.
Therefore, they are gonna present things in an exaggerated way.
Yeah.
COVID is taking its toll. The India is reeling under its pressure, and they word it that way that it makes it appear much worse than what it actually is.
Yeah.
To say it in a funny way, one of my friend had forwarded. So while a sort of windy day was there,
Hmm.
and a news reporter was reporting, a lot of wind is there, and he was doing like this and this. And in the background, a milkman was calmly doing his work without shaking. So it just shows they're just trying to hide things in order to create
Yeah.
panic. So
Okay.
it's unhealthy to look at news. If you want to know the reality, read the newspaper or follow the authentic government websites or of organizations who are working in this area. That's the right way to update yourself with what's going on. Staying whole day at home and doing news is not a healthy way. And lastly,
Yeah.
it's I'm sorry for going on and on, but one last
No,
point.
no.
Okay, lastly, while it is raining, it is silly to say कि why is sun not coming. And
Yeah.
while the sun is there, it is silly to say why it's not raining. Okay, you are at home. But then
Yeah.
there are advantages of that also. You know,
Yep.
the biggest advantage would be commuting time. It's saved.
Totally.
You have so much time with your family now, right? If there is a discord, work on solving it. If you are already happy, enjoy your time. You keep complaining, where is work-life balance? Where is the time to enjoy? Oh, God has given you a lot of time now. Please enjoy.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are advantages. You can grow. If you don't have a job, you can work on enhancing your skills. There are so many online free courses now which you can do to enhance your skill set. And that would end up and you with a better job than the job you had before the pandemic. It
Absolutely.
provided Newton, while Newton was in college, the I forgot which pandemic. I think the plague pandemic probably had happened at that
Okay.
time. And
Mm-hmm.
he was sitting at his home for 1 or 2 years. And it
Mm.
is the research he did in those 1 or 2 years which has made him a world famous personality. So
Yeah.
it's up to
Wonderful.
us to identify what is the opportunity in this moment, make the
Mm.
most of it, and that way we would have turned this adversity into an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. I think that leaves with a lot of insight and a lot of, introspection, because I think there is a lot of hype around it, and sometimes it is created. It's not really there. So yeah, you're right. So, building on the same concern is females or men who are at home, especially home ridden. I think the work has been more on females. I feel, as far the
definitely.
mundane and everything is concerned, and
Mm.
that becomes a lot of concern for females. I think, and it brings out. I think the steam is going off because there is no help as well available at home at
Yeah,
this point of time, and there are people who have gone out. There is no self help. It's more of self reliable kind of a situation right now. So, what do you
right,
say about that? And I also see that the domestic violence numbers have rised. There is a rise on that, huge rise actually, than what it was that earlier. So these are the things I feel has increased because of pandemic, and at the moment, as far psychology wise, as far our own mental health, what we can do, or people who are in this kind of a situation, they can start doing right away.
right. So first of all, I would say yes. A lot of my female colleagues have been complaining that when they would be at job, the only thing they have to do is focus on work.
Hmm.
If they are at home, then why should anyone do their own work? Mummy is there, wife is there, just give an order and work will get done.
Yeah,
Now, fortunately, that's what we have seen while we were growing up. The
yeah,
previous generation it was normal for the women to do everything.
yeah,
Fortunately, unfortunately, this generation girls are not okay with why should I be doing everything?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
a healthy thing. And so now what is happening for many women is they are at home, their work targets have not decreased. In fact, they have increased for many
yeah,
because the management is not sure what you're doing. They're making sure that there are enough target based work so that 8 hours you're working and not enjoying.
yeah,
And the family is like, oh, you do this for us now, you can do the work afterwards. So basically, the work has also increased, and to top that, the home responsibilities and expectations have also increased.
yeah,
So of course they are stressed. Then they would do chit chit, they would snap, and there'll be fights. The other reasons for so what would help is of course for men to realize that times have changed. If you want a housewife, there is no harm. It's nice, but then you should marry a person who is willing to be a housewife.
yeah,
You shouldn't marry someone who wants to do work.
yeah,
Because if you marry a professional person, then you have to be willing that both of us are working outside, and therefore the house responsibilities also have to be divided.
yep,
Unless you do that, your wife is gonna be pissed off with you because now definitely there are a lot of men who help their wives, and she is aware of them, and
mm,
therefore she's gonna compare you and she's gonna curse to God. Why did you end me up with this idiot?
mm,
And you're not gonna have a happy marriage. Okay,
exactly,
whether you like or not, whether you believe or not, you have to grow up and you will have to accept that there has to be equality in marriage,
exactly,
and it doesn't have to be 50-50. It's a marriage, but definitely there has to be a good proportionate sharing, right?
Yeah.
So I encourage all couples to sit down calmly and think through. Okay, what do they think would be a fair and comfortable distribution so that both would be comfortable with it? You know,
Exactly.
there are two, three advantages of it, which I
Hmm.
try to say because if there are advantages, people will do it. So,
Yeah.
very good advantages. So, as a lot of couples have sexual discord, and a
Yeah.
very common discord is the male wants it more and the female is too busy to want it. So tell the male partners that if you are going to help her with housework, she's going to
Yeah.
finish her work fast and then she'll be free, and you guys will have more time for everything, including sex as well as roaming, talking, seeing films, or whatever you want to enjoy together.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
if your partner is free faster, you'll be able to enjoy life more.
Yeah.
So is one advantage. And regarding domestic violence, I would say the pandemic has seen both. There is increase
Hmm.
in domestic violence as well as increase in number of babies.
Yeah.
So it has just increased whatever was going on. So if there
Yeah.
was peace and harmony in the family was happy to have more family time.
Yeah.
If there was discord in the family, then both were like, when will this pandemic end? I cannot tolerate, because still now you could avoid each other for majority of the day. Now you have
Yeah.
to face each other for majority of the day. And if your relationship is not healthy, then you're gonna fight.
Yeah.
So what I would say is your relationships
Hmm.
are one of the most important things which determine the quality of your life. If you are in an unhealthy relationship or if there are certain conflicts between the two of you, it's nice that the pandemic has come and the fights are there and it has become obvious that something is wrong. Take help, take counseling, and sort your differences in time.
Yeah.
And if after counseling also or after whatever help you want to take, books you want to read, therapy you want to take, if it's not solving, then just accept it's not worth it. And
Yeah.
I do believe divorce is not bad. I do believe the goal of life, the objective of life is not till my death I did not take a divorce. That's not the goal of life. The goal of life is to be happy. And if you are in a marriage wherein the partner feels it's okay to hit you, it's okay to emotionally violate you, in my personal view, if he's not willing to change, your biggest responsibility is towards making your own life happy. And it's
Exactly.
fine to walk out of that marriage.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I think that's a very, very important point. I think females, especially miss on when they're in a marriage, and of course, there is a lot of financial aspect and other aspects to it. But to be able to, I think, to be able to take a stand for
I
yourself.
can tell you examples, few examples from lower socioeconomic strata. So in
Sure.
upper socioeconomic strata, of course, it's relatively for lower they don't have a home. The family
Yeah.
says we are married, we don't know anything. It's so much more difficult for them to take a call. But
Yeah.
even in lower socioeconomic strata, when women take a call and show courage, I have heard many of them say after a few years, "Okay, thank God I showed the courage.
Exactly.
I have to earn my bread now, but life is so much more peaceful and happier." So of course, all
Exactly.
of us need a partner, but if the partner is more of an energy drain than a support,
Yeah.
it's better to have a life without a partner. And of course, in today's age and era, all socioeconomic startup, it's becoming easier for
Hmm.
you to have a second marriage. You have to believe in your right. If you have that preconceptions in your head that once married, I cannot now again think about any person, then you cannot benefit from a second marriage. But otherwise, there is nothing preventing you from that. And even within the previous point we were saying,
Hmm.
okay, about sharing of responsibilities so that both the partners have a fair deal of free time, fair deal of work, fair deal of time to recreate.
Yeah.
The biggest prerequisite for this is the woman also has to believe that that is fair and that is fine for the family members to help.
Exactly.
If she
Exactly.
believes no, 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 how can he do? How can I allow someone else to wash the utensils? Then you cannot have a better life.
Yeah.
And even those who would assert, see, initially resistance will be there, not because they are bad men, but
Yeah.
because they are used to a particular thing and
Yeah.
expectation. It's your work, my work. So initially they will be like, why should I do? And they will not be happy. But it's okay. If you just assert calmly and you stick to your ground that, yeah, I don't think this is fair. I think you want to change.
Yeah.
calmly explain your point. Okay, you don't have to shout, you don't have to insult, but you have to calmly convey
Yeah.
what you believe in and what seems fair. If you insist, only then they will reconsider the view with a calm head. And of course, when they reconsider, they will also see what you're saying is fair. But the
Yeah.
first step is for you to believe that you have a right to an equal share of work and an equal share of free time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's very interesting. So, coming to men, I think I feel, especially as a man, what I understand for men is that there is uh, it's more of, especially men have a habit of not speaking out, or this is what I believe, to the point that they can't take it. Most what I have come across in my own circle, or I would say that they don't speak unless it is like a point that they have to really shout and say it, or they will be like they will just shout and say it. There is no other way to say it, there is no calmer way or a better way of sitting and discussing. And I think that creates a lot of discord in the relationship of anything, for a matter of father daughter, or a brother sister, anything for that matter, not only just a husband wife I meant. But I would love to know on that aspect, that what do you have to say for them, how they can take care of themselves.
Okay, so if I can connect it to the previous point of asserting our view. So, one of the reasons why I encourage people to assert is to save the relationship. Because when you don't want to injure the relationship and therefore you remain silent, what happens is the frustration keeps penting up in the head, and one fine day it bursts out in a very unhealthy, violent way. And
Yeah,
you shout and you say things which are more hurtful.
exactly.
Secondly, even if you don't speak, in your mind you're upset and irritated with that idiot. And that's gonna make you avoid the person. And that
Yeah,
avoidance is gonna ruin the relationship.
yeah,
But when in time, when the fuse is not blown off, at that time itself, when you're calm and you share and you put your perspective and you discuss, and through discussion you arrive at mutual consensus.
hmm.
So then both the parties are happy, the relationship continues to be mutually satisfying, and there is a higher probability it will be saved. So to
Yeah,
save your marriage, speak on time rather than allowing it to burst.
yeah,
Talking about one more thing about men not feeling it okay to share their emotions. So of course they have to also speak about their rights, and both men and women believe in your our duties are also important and rights are also important, and we should be focused more on duties rather than rights. Yes, but little bit on your rights also, and it is fair to express them.
yeah,
Talking about emotions, men often believe men shouldn't cry and stuff like that.
yeah.
But yes, it's unhealthy, and maybe that's the reason why women live longer. So please share. Please, so
Yeah.
I'll tell one funny episode which happened. I cry at least once a month because, like everyone, I also have my own challenges.
Yep.
So I cry intermittently. So one day I was traveling in a train, probably COVID time. So it
Hmm.
was an empty train. So there was no one in that. So in the next bogie was empty, or
Yep.
the next section. So I went there and I was crying. And the TC came and he freaked out. Okay, what is happening? And he went and closed the door first, as if I was gonna commit suicide. But okay, I was just crying, and he was like, "What happened?" I was like, "Nothing. I'm just remembering something and crying." He
Yeah.
says, "No, no, 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 don't cry. This, that." He was fine. Point I'm making is, I do cry and I love crying, and I
Yeah.
encourage all men to have someone in their life with whom you can share your emotions. It will do two things. It will keep you calm, and also, once you talk about your problems, once you share with someone, it brings in more clarity.
Yeah.
You will be able to get better solutions on
Absolutely.
what you are doing.
Yeah.
So yes, we should all share.
Exactly.
Having good friends is the biggest buffer against any form of stress, including this pandemic. So
Yeah.
don't be isolated, be amongst your relatives and friends and discuss with them whatever is going in your head.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wonderful. That's a wonderful point. But I would love to say that there is I feel that usually the suicide case when it comes to female or men, I think females still end up suffering,
Hmm.
but men can't suffer. The number of men
Hmm.
or male is higher when it comes to suicide,
Hmm.
when you see the numbers
Yeah.
especially. you
Yeah.
know so I would love to know, what do you have to say for them? Because I think the pandemic has really hit a lot of people on those numbers when it comes to suicide cases, and youth is especially it's hitting hard. There were dreams, there were aspirations, there were certain plans already, and I think something didn't work out, and now people are getting into that kind of a nudge, kind of a feeling that I have to do something, and they lose their lives. And this has been a ratio of, if you see the numbers. So I would love to know, what do you have to say on that? How can they seek out counseling? And also the point of, I think people are not very open to still to counseling, to be able to reach out to, even for marriage counseling, or even for slightest of doubt, like you are just lying out and you just had this thought randomly in your mind that main latak jaun kya, that kind of feeling, and you just ignore it, you just suppress it. But it is not okay to have that kind of a thought in your mind just for even a second. you know so what do you have to say in that aspect?
I would say the first reason, there may be many reasons which are contributing to men having more completed suicides. One of them can be a less mature way of handling stress. Like you said, they just don't share, they just bottle up their stress within. So, first is of course sharing. Second, of course, men have the responsibility to earn financially, which often at times can be more stressful. If the if a poor farmer has a loan of 2 lakhs and he doesn't know how to solve it, that can feel more of a hopeless situation
Yeah.
compared to the family conflicts or certain other problems which women have to go through. So maybe that's another reason why there are more suicides in men. In the current situation, what I would say is, okay, it's nice. See, there are some people whose professions have grown exponentially during the
Yeah.
pandemic. Okay, of course, majority of their careers have been online, and that requires some money. I would accept, but see, by and large, we have to keep reinventing ourselves, and you have to. If you, for example, a lot of people are giving tiffin service to people currently in the pandemic. So what I'm saying is, figure out. Be
Yeah.
flexible, and you will be able to find your financial source. May not be as easy as how some of us are having, but you still will be able to if you're flexible. And
Mm.
you may actually end up earning more for even the long term
Yeah.
compared to what you're earning. So be flexible is what I would say. Be innovative. Talk to friends. Look around what people are doing. Take help. Take guidance, and it would help you.
Yeah.
Regarding therapy, I would say a lot of people's, yes. See, being a therapist, I have seen so many lives getting transformed that I insist all my family members to take therapy. Of course, they don't. So,
Mm.
but yes, you should. I take therapy.
Yeah.
I have gone for therapy, and a lot of therapists take therapy. Not
Yep.
because we are not smart enough, we are fools, because all of us are benefited from having a third person perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. And for most of the audience who has not have had a training in psychology, you shouldn't expect that you should be able to solve it. If you
Yeah.
get pain in your stomach, if you get any problem in your bone or eyes or anywhere, you will never say, no, I don't want to go to a doctor. I will first try to solve it myself. You will never say that because you don't think you are supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Then why do you feel, while you have not trained yourself in psychology, why do you feel you should be able to solve your emotional problems on your own? I'm
Yeah.
not saying everyone should go to a therapist. Try to work on it on your own for a month. Read self-help books, talk to friends, try for 2 months. But if then the problem doesn't solve, accept, take something more than normal, and it's gonna take professional help to solve it. And I
Yeah.
must tell you something. Therapy is more of a coaching. The therapist
Mm.
doesn't solve anything for you. You
Yeah.
go to a surgeon and say, cure me. You have to just sleep. He will do it. In therapy, the therapist doesn't do anything. He just helps you to figure out how to solve your problem. So, yes, you are smart. And in fact, therapy works better only for smart people. People who are too immature, they may keep coming on therapy for years and they may not be able to solve. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but smart people really experience a dramatic shift in their life when they take
Mm.
therapy because it opens them up to a very new perspective which they have not seen till now.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think taking help, the right kind of a help at the right time, is not a sign of weakness. It's a
Yeah.
sign of your smartness that you know what ideal solutions are, and it's a sign of your courage that you're willing to accept the responsibility to do whatever it takes to handle your life situation in the best possible way.
Yeah.
So I would really,
Yeah.
really encourage everyone to take therapy. It increases your capacity to solve things in a faster and better way.
Got it. Sure. Wonderful. Great. So, I would like to know from you some of the things you would say that is really kept you going when you see yourself in a challenge situation or a place where you would be like you want to give up but you didn't, you kept going. So some of the things you would say to maintain that resilience in you, what keeps you going?
I'm not prepared for this question. I will think. So I would say one thing which has helped me is definitely friends, as I said.
Hmm.
I must say I would think I have some very good friends who have supported me. Um, um, Appreciation. People
Hmm.
who show faith in you. People
Yeah.
who appreciate you. I have a lot of self-doubt. So my wife appreciating me, showing faith in me really helps. My friends. Um, yeah, so having friends really helped me. One,
Hmm.
lately I have uh, realized that I need to focus on the positives. I keep obsessing with what has not happened, what I have not been able to do, where I have been weak. I keep obsessing with that. And then it seems like, oh God, you are a big mess, you're a big failure. But lately I have realized, while explaining others, I've also started realizing that I need to be kinder to myself. I
Yeah.
need to acknowledge my goodness. And nowadays, I actually spend some pretty decent amount of time in celebrating the amount of work I handle, the kind of things I do.
Yeah.
And I'm taking pride in it. And I think that's helping me accept those things which I'm not able to do,
Absolutely.
those dreams which I've not been able to fulfill.
Hmm.
So it helps me not feel bad and it keeps that balance. So I think
Wonderful.
celebrating your positives is important, is what I would say. Yeah,
Sure.
that's what comes to my mind.
Anything else, anything in particular else you would say?
Yes, I forgot to talk about my alcohol thing. So while I was
Yeah.
talking about the alcohol, I wanted to say so the presentation which I give in colleges is there on YouTube. It's called Poisons We Love. So I
Mm-hmm.
request all of you to please have a look at it.
Sure. I will
I,
tag that in the podcast as well. So that would be
okay.
okay. I can put the
So
link.
okay. So in this presentation, I have summarized some of the key findings of scientific research published in medical journals in a simple language so that you can know the truth of the substance and then make an informed choice rather than allow yourself to get guided by what the industry wants you to think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So one regret you would say if anyone asks you, what would that be? If
You
you
should
have
send
any.
these questions before the podcast. Right.
No, it's okay. You can. I
Okay.
mean, sometimes it
Okay. One
natural is best. So that's why.
So you have to give me some time. Health, health.
Hmm.
Looking at me, you will not say whatever you will not say. But at till my 10th standard, even one day before my exam, I would go to play. And I think that kept me smart. And I was smart. I
Hmm.
think after 10th, I started getting dumber and dumber. And as well as my physical health also started deteriorating. And that's predominantly because I lost sports. I didn't exercise. And now I'm
Okay.
consciously trying to again start exercising. So
Wonderful.
one regret in life is that I've not given, I focused too much on work and I didn't focus on my health as well as I didn't focus on enjoying. And now I've been doing that. Now I've been telling myself performance is important, but more important is did you enjoy? So
Yeah.
today I'm not focusing so much on am I giving a great talk? I'm also focused on am I enjoying this process?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
Great. That's a wonderful point, actually. So, like being present to the moment, that's
Yeah.
what you meant exactly.
Yeah.
Great. So, one of the book which you would say to recommend our listeners, or you would say you can go back to it any single day.
Okay. My study speed is very slow, so I nowadays see TED Talks rather than books. But a particular book on perfectionism has really helped me undo my perfectionism.
Hmm.
The author is I
That
forgot.
would be okay.
So okay,
That
so but
should be
some
fine.
book on
Yeah.
perfectionism. There is
Yeah.
another book called um, "Don't Sweat the Small Stuff," and it is all small stuff.
Okay.
That
Got
has
it.
really helped me to not obsess with small things.
Hmm.
Um, and there is a book on REBT by Albert Ellis, the founder of REBT. It's called A Guide to Rational Living.
Okay.
So I would recommend that for anyone who wants to gain a more objective perspective at life. And if you say, I want to first do self help, and then if I need, I want to go to a therapist. Okay, first try this book.
Okay.
And if it doesn't work, then
Objectivism. Yeah. Wonderful.
so it really gives you healthy ways of thinking, which would bring more balance and improve the way you cope with your emotional challenges.
Got it. Got it. Sure. Definitely. So, one of the special question I always ask my guest is five blessings. You would say that these are the blessings for your life. It's like none of them would have made me reach where I am today in my life if they were not my blessings. So, what are yours?
So I would say first is of course my parents, for the kind of nurturing they gave during my childhood. I
Yeah.
think all parents end up committing some mistakes, but
Hmm.
all parents end up doing a lot. And I do believe, and I am aware of the way my parents have contributed to my life. This would be one.
Sure.
Second would be, I think, I must thank God for the intelligence and physical fitness that
Hmm.
He gave me. It has helped me enjoy life more. I must thank myself for exercising enough and playing enough in my childhood, is what I would
Hmm.
say.
Wow.
Um, I must thank my stammering and my OCD and all the problems I had in life
Hmm.
because they have increased my capacity to understand the pain of others
Hmm.
and to if I want to help others. But if I never had pain, then how would I understand? So I
Yeah.
think that has been helpful. I would say my wife, my friends have been a huge support,
Hmm.
and the awareness work I did. I have been to colleges across the country, and people would help me get permissions. I would stay with them. So the work I've been able to do has been because of my friends, and they have been a huge blessing.
Wow.
And I think the
Wonderful.
society as a whole. I
Hmm.
remember as a child, things were so relatively cheap and free. People who have built free gardens, people who have donated
Yeah.
and built science centers and stuff like that. I realize someone has donated for the building in the college I studied. I
Yeah.
realize I owe so much to the society, especially being in a metro like Mumbai. I realize I have had so much more. And I realize, as doctors often feel that we are great, we are doctors. But I realize, when I calmly think, I realize what was my greatness? Anyone in my position entering that college would have ended up becoming a doctor. A bigger thing was the society creating that structure wherein
Yeah.
people can become a doctor. So I
Hmm.
do believe I'm thankful for the society. which has given me this privilege to help people into some of the most
Mm.
sensitive moments of their lives. And
Mm.
that has allowed me to have a much deeper understanding of life because people share with me some deep problems which they would never share with anyone else. And I feel
Wow.
privileged. That really gives me an empowered position. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I really feel it's a blessing. My profession is a blessing, and if I can say one more, my spiritual guru. I think Pandurang Shastri Athavle is my spiritual guru. His organization is called Swarn, because
Mm-hmm.
of which at a very early age I learned to think in a very rational way and
Mm.
in a very broad way.
Mm.
Most people think religion, spirituality is all crap and a waste and a curse to humanity, which does more harm.
Yeah.
But for me, because I have seen a very, it's like if you have never been taught maths by a good teacher, you will hate maths. But if you have a
Mm.
good teacher, you will love maths. So I believe I have um, whatever teachings he has had. I used to really love going to listen to his talks, and I would actually tell myself, I'm going to hear the lion roar. And I think in my youth, listening to all that he had to say has really helped me in developing self conviction, having a vision. And the earlier question you said, okay, what helps me deal with my challenges? I would say the intellectual clarity he has given me and
Yeah.
the broad perspective towards life he has given me has
Mm.
steadily me good stead.
Wow.
Has, I mean,
Yeah.
has helped me, has guided, has been my guiding light.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, that's really incredible. So I still have one more question for you is I think as especially Indian parents or Indian person, I like to address this part that it's very difficult to control your parents in a sense that when they are doing something wrong, in a sense, when you know that they are going wrong, like giving an example that they are going outside at this moment of COVID, and you know it as a daughter or as a son, it is very difficult to make them understand to not to do that, and you don't want to sound authoritative, but it is out of concern that you don't want them to go out. And I think it is most of the challenge for all the youth living with their parents at this moment, I would say, at least 50% plus. So, what do you have to say about that? How do you handle, such small things which does not lead to any, discord or anything major? But yeah, the message goes well.
Okay. I would first answer a different question which you have not asked.
Sure.
How to what advice would you give to parents who are not happy with the life partner that children have chosen for them? Okay, the parents can see that this guy is going in a ditch. He is going to get ruined if he marries that person. So what should they do? Should they prevent him from marrying that person?
I would say they can definitely say at least that, yeah, you should
They
not.
can they can say, but the
Yeah,
youth says, "Okay, I'm not falling in a ditch. If I marry the person you are telling me, then I will fall in a ditch.
yeah,
I have better brains about what I want in life. You don't understand my life. I know my life." So I do believe okay, everyone should have the right to choose their life, right?
yeah.
And just as parents need to respect the right of their children to their life and be open to the fact that according to them this is the best thing, but according to the son it's something else is good, and they have a right to explain, as you say, they have a right to convince, but they don't have a right to force. And similarly, if we just accept okay, our parents have a right to their life, then it would be nice. We It's our responsibility to convince them, and if you're not able to convince them, then accept. And
Yeah.
yes, yes, they would be making a very wrong choice, but
Mm.
I think the bigger solution is to not feel that pressure and to be
Mm.
aware that beyond the point, I cannot help my mother, father, wife, son, friend. I can suggest, but at the end of the time, at the end of the day, we are separate individuals,
Yeah.
and someone cannot be happy in life or safe in life just because he's my brother or father or whoever. He has his life will get decided by his actions. So
Yeah.
learning a healthy boundary. Maybe this is a more psychological answer than what you had expected.
Yeah. No, of
But I
course.
would
That's what
say
I wanted to hear. So
But I
it's
would say
wonderful.
we should respect each other's right to their lives and not take the pressure of it that it is my responsibility to make him behave right. No, it is his responsibility to make wise choices.
Yeah.
Of course, it would hurt us, but so therefore a boundary, and I guess it's mutual. If
Hmm.
we listen well, maybe they will also listen well. But by and large, explaining better is what I would say.
Absolutely. Wow. Great. I think that is something I needed to hear just to validate what I have been thinking, maybe. So, yeah, thank you so very much, I think, Dr. Shah. So, this was great, and I hope our listeners add value to it and they really can reach out to you if that's okay. And you are on multiple forums, YouTube, social media, Facebook, and all. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
my email ID is dharavshah@yahoo.com.
sure.
Currently, I'm not seeing new patients because I'm busy with the awareness work and some other job I have.
Mhm.
But yeah, for awareness work, if you want to connect, I'll be happy. And my YouTube channel is Dharav Shah, and another YouTube channel is Understanding Alcohol. So I would request you to check it out.
Definitely, definitely. I'll put that as well in my podcast once I do that publish. Great. So thank you so very much once again, and I
Thank you.
wish you all the good luck for all the wonderful work you are doing for our society. And
It
keep
was a great
safe.
time chatting with you. Thank you so
Same
much.
here. Thank you so much once again. Thank you.